The International Basketball Federation has changed its rules to allow national teams to wear, and women who play on those national teams to wear hijabs when they play basketball internationally. Now, this is a new regulation that's going into effect October 1st after a 2-year test to allow certain teams to do it. And here is that new protection. According to the FIBA website, it is the provision of the new rule. The provisions mean that headgear is allowed when it is black or white or of the same dominant color as that of the uniform. It is one same color for all players on the team as all accessories. So you can't wear a hijab that's the same color as the other team, so that when someone looks up out of the side of their eye, they see you and pass you the ball. I really like that rule. That's like a very like sports. All right, I know. No. Everybody tries to cheat. And it does not cover any part of the face, eyes, nose, lips. It is not dangerous to the player wearing it and or to other players. It has no opening or closing elements around the face or neck. It has no parts extruding from its surface. And this comes after the Qatari women's basketball team had to pull out of the Asia Games in September 2014 because they were gonna wear hijabs and they weren't allowed to. What do you think?
I want to understand how a hijab, a yarmulke, a turban could possibly get in the way or injure another player.
I will say we played against Servite, which is a Jewish school in Anaheim, I think, and yarmulkes fall off all the time. And so you frequently have to just stop and pick them up if your hair's not long enough to hold that down. Okay. So that one I get. Hijabs, it's like, it seems like it's way more of an inconvenience to the player who's wearing it. It doesn't give you any kind, it's not gonna come off.
Right.
What do you think, Amberia?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a safety measure. And I'm critical of sports associations who say they have the safety of the player in mind when they adopt certain regulations all the time. So anything that allows women to play sports, just let's get it done. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you. Here's one perspective of Indira Kallio, who is a Bosnian American basketball player. She said, I shouldn't have to decide between faith and sports, and not just me, players around the world. Couldn't agree more. And then there was another player who was able to wear a hijab during her college years and couldn't sign on for an international contract to play in Europe because of this very regulation. Here's a list of organizations that do allow religious headwear. FIFA does, which is like the only good thing I've ever heard FIFA do.
The video games are good.
Video games are really good. The IOC, the International Olympic Committee, but it's the Olympics, and they did that through the following two, which is the International Judo Federation in 2016 and the Olympic Fencing. There was a woman with a hijab that participated in that, as well as the American Boxing Federation, and that was just last week. So there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, there's no reason why they shouldn't be allowed to do this, as long as it doesn't interfere with the game or constitute cheating by wearing the other team's color. Like you mentioned earlier, the only threat it would do would be maybe if you were really ignorant and you don't understand what a hijab is and you have a lot of preconceived notions about what it could mean about these players, about these other people. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know about sports, but aren't international sports supposed to unite people?
Yes. Yeah, it's great to see these kinds of things. And there was a story in Iran on April 13th. As it was like tacked on to the end of this announcement by FIBA that for the first time ever, men could see a women's basketball game live, like in person. It's the first time they went to do that. So I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. It's about time.
Yeah, what takes so long?
You have to realize that when the way other people live their lives should not threaten or hurt or make you feel insecure about the way you live your life.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's really simple.
I read, so we did that story about in Boston, they had, we talked about the racist things that were yelled at a black baseball player who was on the Orioles at Fenway Park, and then started doing some research. There was actually a video by Ricky Strom, who used to work for TYT. You should see his Facebook page because he does a video a day. And he just looked it up. It took 10 extra years after Jackie Robinson for the Red Sox to have an integrated baseball team. And that's crazy to me.
Our journalism drive is almost over. It ends in Trump's first 100 days. We need to hire more reporters and more watchdogs. Let's do that right now at tytnetwork.com/go.